Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to MK Communities Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to go over the New York City Department of Education Handbook for Substitute Special Education Teaching Assistants, also known as Paraprofessional. Now, this is going to be very important for those people that are planning to become paraprofessional assistant teachers. I'm going to go over something with the SubCentral system. I'm going to go over some of the rules and regulation, what you expect from as if you're going to be working with as assistant teacher or working with special needs students. I'm going to try my best to give you my knowledge, part of my knowledge as well, because I did also work as an assistant teacher, so hopefully we'll give you guys some insight from my experience and what to expect when you do go into the classroom the first day. So let's go over this booklet one by one, and hopefully I can help out you guys as much as possible. So basically, let's get an overview. So if you're planning to become a substitute special education teaching assistant, also known as substitute paraprofessional, you're going to be working in the City of New York School, which is the 5 boroughs. Obviously, your role is to take care of the special needs students. You have a special role to play out. You're basically establishing a rapport with the student, helping them out. Whatever the goal is, to provide students, to give them the best of your knowledge, help them out, succeed in their life. As a substitute paraprofessional, you'll either be assigned as a one-day assignment, or maybe a permanent assigning to one student depending on your school's needs. So that's one part you have to remember as a substitute paraprofessional. These are some of the table of contents that I'm going to be covering. I'm not going to cover everything in one shot, but I'm going to try my best to break it apart so it'll be easy for those people that want to be concentrating on one specific thing, rather than doing it all in one shot and take. It will be a little bit difficult. So we're going to be learning about SubCentral system, general responsibilities as a paraprofessional, special education, beginning of the school day, during the school days, and end of school days, and code of ethics. We're also going to be getting additional information and an appendix and bibliography as well. So the City of New York system is one of the nation's largest. There are over 1.1 million students in the school. So there is a lot of students for you, just to let you know. You'll be dealing with different schools as a substitute paraprofessional, probably high school, middle school, elementary. Maybe sometimes it might be mixed depending on where they send you. So going over some of this over here, like for example, the Children's First Network (CFN) seeks to consolidate service to a school. The CFN is designed to integrate operational instructional support for schools. The goal is to expand the philosophy of developing as much decision-making power as possible for the people who know school best: principal, teachers, and school staff. Each CFN employee a small cross-functional team directly accountable to principal that delivers personalized service to schools. The goal is to streamline operation and build capacity within school-based staff can focus their time in instruction, accelerate student achievement. So basically, you'll be going all over Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Bronx, Manhattan, depending on where you decided to put yourself in the system. You'll basically be all over. One thing's for a fact, guys, that if you're going to be as a substitute paraprofessional, you're being assigned dates sometime in advance, sometime at the last minute, depending on your status. So keep that in mind as well. In order for you to become a full-time paraprofessional, you have to keep that in mind. You have to you're able to go to the substitute. You first work as a substitute paraprofessional assistant teacher in a classroom with a daily care of the students, emotional, cognitive, or physical need, autistic, and special needs. If you want to become a full-time paraprofessional, it all depends on the school's principal. If they think that you might be best for the student or specific student, they can hire you as becoming full-time. Or if you obviously as a substitute paraprofessional, that's where it actually helps you to go different schools, and maybe one of the principal might see that you are a good person to maybe accept as a full-time paraprofessional. They might hire you as well. So keep that in mind as well. So it's one of the very demanding jobs as a paraprofessional. They might end up hiring you. So keep that in mind. Your minimum required ability for substitute paraprofessional, what you need is basically you need a high school diploma. You need to be proficient in reading, writing, and English language, and you obviously need to be authorized to work in the USA. These are the minimum things in order to become a paraprofessional. You also need to get nominated by school principal. So even if you want to get into this field, you need to be nominated as a school principal first. So once you're nominated, once the principal nominates you, you'll get an email stating that you need to complete certain professional development courses, either online or if you have something to substitute, you can substitute that from as well. Also, you also need to take the teaching assistance test as well. It all depends on the school. I don't remember at this part that you do need that for becoming a substitute paraprofessional, but I do know that I did take the test, and it's very easy. It's literally 5th grade math. It's quite simple. I mean, 45 plus 20. What's the answer? This is the type of question they're going to be asking. I mean, no one should have a problem, but if you do, I mean, you could always practice and get better. It's not a big deal. So that's one part about it. So once the principal nominates you, you go in, take the courses, whatever you need to take, either online or substitute with something else. You go down in person, and actually you'll go into like one of the places of orientation, and once you get orientated and everything, you actually end up becoming a substitute paraprofessional. You'll get your license with saying substitute paraprofessional. That license will be used at every school you go to. Just show the security guard in front, and you'll be actually do substitute work every single day. And you'll be assigned to know which classroom to go to. The principal will let you know. That's one part about it. So keep this in mind. This is one of the steps that you need in order to become a paraprofessional. The New York City Department of Education will also will accept any application only if vaccines exist or are anticipated. So if you need vaccination start as a paraprofessional, the DOE might ask for that as well. So keep that in mind. The application of these candidates meeting the minimum eligibility requirement will be further reviewed by identifying candidates whose qualification, experience, interest, and availability best match the requirement of the position. I'm not going to go over every step of it. I'm just going to go over certain things. Complete the New York City State approved workshop in child abuse identification. Yes, you do also need that as well. You also need the school violence prevention as well certification. Successful pass the New York State Assessment Teaching Skill Test. That's the one that I was talking about. Completion of the DOE supported and authorized online training, the one I was mentioning. Complete the SubCentral and bloodborne pathogen workshop conducted by the New York City Department of Education. Successfully pass a criminal background investigation after being fingerprinted by the New York State Department of Education. There's also a fee for that. Additional requirement will be added to state or city requirement changes. So each year items do change. I mean, this is something that I had on my record, so I wanted to share with you. But some the people that, like, let's say for example before me, they didn't have to do the workshop. They just needed a high school diploma to go in. So these are some of the things, as you can see over here listed. These are some of the things you do need in order to become a paraprofessional, such as these two training. And there is another additional training as well, which is called the DASA training as well. So you might need that as well in order to become a paraprofessional. So going to the next page. Now, SubCentral is a central operation division that you're going to be using for a home base, or you could call them up as well. So rather than reading all this, I'm going to go over something and let you know what it is. Now, SubCentral, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's an online based system. So what it is basically you'll be using, you'll be assigned a PIN number, or maybe like a license number, you could say. And you'll be basically, every time you go online, you're going to log in username and password, and you'll see different schools, whichever borough you listed. So the more boroughs you put in, the more chances for you to get called. Obviously, it's common sense. So let's say, for example, if you want to say you want to work in District 22 and 75 and 21, whatever district you want to choose, you'll get assigned to those districts. So you'll get called from those districts more often than anywhere else. So that's how it usually does work. And so you could either use the SubCentral online system and check if there's any job offer available, or actually you could just call them up as well. It's a phone system as well. The computer does call you as well to give you assignments. If not that, then you could actually check online whatever days is necessary, and you could get the assignments from there as well. So like I said, it's 24-hour days, 7 days a week. It's called SubCentral. The number is right over here, 718-935-4401, but it's between 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. or via email at subcentralatschools.gov. Make sure you do use SubCentral. It's easy for you. It tracks and maintains information of absences of substitute teachers. It ensures special education students receive the support they needed. It removes the responsibility currently placed on principal and school staff to locate substitute teachers or substitute paraprofessional or full-time teaching assistants. It's an easy thing for those people. I mean, literally, you just have to, let's say if a substitute teacher or regular teacher is going to call off sick in advance, they could just put in the system, and whichever paraprofessional they need nearby, they'll end up basically getting into it. So it's one simple way of using the SubCentral system. So like I said, doing a short summary of this, You could either use it online or you could call them by phone. That's one or two easy ways to get jobs. I recommend constantly searching. This is like one of the things you have to search if you want something, one of the good schools nearby your location, because it does fill up fast. Now, registration for SubCentral, well, it's quite easy to register. What you have been, once you've been approved as a substitute teaching assistant, you'll receive like an EIN number. That's or EIS number, I should say. So once you have that, you memorize that number. It's going to be using throughout your DOE career. Even if you called the substitute, let's say if you call the hotline, you're going to get the EIS number, and you're going to be actually going to tell them that as well. Make sure you know the PIN as well. You have to create a PIN. Make sure you remember that. And if you're using the first time, make sure your EIS number is not the both. It's Assets ID and PIN number. You have to change your PIN number, and you can call it. That's a contact number right over there if you want to do that. And you must register with SubCentral to be called for substitute assignments. You have to do that. If you don't register for SubCentral, you're not gonna get a call for assignment. Your Assets ID and PIN are used for interacting with the system. It should never be used by anyone. Do me a favor. Do not give your Assets ID, your EIS number, or anyone that if you know, because they can abuse it, they can use it, and you don't want to get in trouble because of their foolishness. If you're not registered, you will not be able to get called a job assignment. So it's very important you do register with SubCentral. So it does tell you step by step. You're just gonna log in, registration using the SubCentral system, certification workshop, salary, online application, career opportunities, and they will actually tell you from there on as well. Page number 5. Accepting a job. Whenever possible, you should use a SubCentral smart system to accept job offer. So once you accepted the job, you're gonna know the date, time, location, phone number, job number, and everything else. Keep that in mind. Always print out this information or put on a piece of paper or something. If you go to a school, you have proof to show to the principal, like, listen, I've been assigned this place, this time, and this is how it is, and just take notes of it, whatever if you need beforehand. Punctuality is very important. Be on time before the school starts. Do a little bit of research, of the school, where the school is. Like obviously if you're driving, you're gonna know about where the parking is. Like for example, street cleaning, meter parking. It sometimes is difficult, especially like in Manhattan, to find parking with schools located. Every school has different starting times. This is so true. Not everyone is gonna start at 8:20 or 8:30. Some schools might start at 7:45. Some schools might start 8:45. Depending on where you go, it all depends. To keep that in mind, and obviously you wanna make sure you have a good experience. I would recommend just come at least half an hour. It says 1 hour over here, but I recommend coming at least half an hour early just to get acquainted. I mean, you'll have a teacher. That's one thing about an assistant teacher, that you'll have a regular teacher in the classroom. Unless if that regular teacher is also not in the classroom anymore, it was absent with the paraprofessional, then it gets a little bit difficult. But if you have the regular teacher in the classroom, you're gonna have that, because your assistant teacher, you're taking care of either one kid or the classroom, depending on the qualification. Like on the school where they put you, but you'll have a certified teacher in the classroom. That's not going to be an issue. Your job might be taking care of one student, or you might be taking care of a group of students. It all depends. Whatever the teacher tells you in the classroom, just follow his or her steps, and you should be fine for that day. Parking, just like stated, you have no clue if they're going to be parking. Not just do a little bit of research before you use. A work hour, obviously the beginning and ending work for substitute teaching assistants will vary from school to school. Be certain to listen carefully to start times and indicated by SubCentral. When in doubt, call the school in advance to verify the start time and get the directions. A map of these schools available actually at the schools.nyc.gov. You could also call the MTA to get directions. Substitute paraprofessional with the renewal requirements. Please be aware that you have to fulfill a renewal requirement in order to work for the school year. One of the renewal requirements is you have to get at least 20, work 20 or more days. If you don't have that, then they will not let you work for the next year. So at least 20 days you have to do. So let's say, for example, if you accepted a job for school and you find out, I forgot about it. I actually have to go to school tomorrow. Like my professor called me in and I forgot that I actually had to go there. You can also cancel a job. Once you accept the job, it is critical to either fulfill committed or cancel the job in a timely manner. You don't want to cancel a job literally 5 minutes before you go to school. Oh, I can't come. It doesn't look good on your part. It's going to be a bad thing. So after accepting a job, you'll find the need to cancel the job. You can also cancel it. Just cancel at least 2 hours, 3 hours before the start of the job. I recommend do a day before. If you're not sure, just cancel it. It's not going to hurt you, but it's better to be punctual and cancel in advance, suggesting, because the SubCentral might give the job to somebody else if you can't do it. Failure to do so may result in a principal excluding you from working at his or her school in the future. Repeated failures will result in disciplinary action, including suspension and termination. So you don't want to do that constantly. Once or twice, all right, understandable. You do it constantly, that can be effective. Cancellation can be done using the SubCentral Smart Find Express, and just prompt to cancel it. You can just cancel it from there. If you attempt to cancel the job after 1.5 hour deadline, approximately 6 a.m. the morning of the assignment, you will now be allowed to do so in SubCentral Find Express. You must call the school administration to cancel the job, meaning that you have to call the school after that. Photo ID, you will get a photo ID from the DOE, carry it at all times. Obviously, you can get that from 65 Court Street, room 102. Obviously, please be advised that your employee ID will make sure the requirements have been met and improved by the employment. Make sure as a substitute teaching assistant are expected to maintain high standard professional appearance. You are professional. You are working in the school system. Obviously, you can't use tobacco products in front of a school or outside. If you're a smoker, just be somewhere just straight outside of the school. If you're taking a break, not in front of the school. Don't bring cellular phones or pagers. That's gonna be obviously policy. Turn it off, or put it on literally on silent. That should help out as well. New York City prohibits the unlawful manufacture, distribution, dispensation, or use of controlled substance. You cannot bring drugs to school or anything like that. Why they're saying this is common sense. Well, guess what? People have done it in the past. That's why they have this rule, because people don't know, if they're supposed to bring tobacco products or alcohol or something like that in school. You're not supposed to. So other than that, guys, I'm going to stop right over here. It's a lot of information to digest, I know. But if you guys have any questions about how to become an assistant teacher in New York City, just feel free to message me in the video. I'll try my best to help out you guys as much as possible. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.